What's up, everybody? Welcome to Spirit Talk with Spirits. This is 704 Paranormal. I'm Austin.
I'm Bethany.
I'm Clay.
And thank you guys for joining us on this video. What we're going to be doing tonight is telling personal stories, ghost stories, investigation notes, and just letting everyone get to know us on the channel. So without further ado, I'm going to pour a fresh little Glen right here of some of this fine conviction bourbon I got from our last paranormal hunt at the Whiskey Prison. Highly suggest you check that place out if you're into paranormal or anything like that. Southern Grace Distilleries.
It is very good. We tried every single alcohol that they had there, and that was probably it was the best one, 100%.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm drinking TX whiskey.
I'm drinking water.
Texas makes some good bourbon.
Somebody's got to be the healthy one out of the group.
Yeah.
All right. So we're 704 Paranormal. We investigate all things paranormal in the North Carolina area for now. Now, I'm sure once we get some more investigations under our belt and we start traveling, we might be hitting South Carolina. We might be hitting Virginia. I know in the near future, I'll be going up towards the mountains of North Carolina investigating Asheville stuff. Mm-hmm. But for this whole episode, we're going to go over some of our previous investigations and stories. So let's go with where we started.
Okay.
So 704 Paranormal, we went out on our first investigation, and we went to a location called the Shinville Witch.
Well, the location is
the Mills Graveyard.
Mills Graveyard. Mills Family Cemetery, I believe.
You add the word witch to anything, and I'm there.
Yeah.
I love anything witch-related, paranormal-related. One of my top goals in life is to go to Salem and visit that.
I would love to do that.
That will be in our future. We will be going to Salem.
I mean, he even goes as far as watching all the witchy shows.
I love it.
What was the one? It was Sabrina, but it was the new one.
Okay, don't put me on blast on YouTube, but yes, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Yes, I do. If by chance Kieran and Shipka sees this, love everything you do, even Twisters. It was great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this. Shinville Witch, right? So we roll up. We're out one night, and we're just getting into doing paranormal investigation and things of that nature. And we hit up a basic cemetery in Mooresville, renting spirit box like you do when you get a new spirit box. Mm-hmm. We're playing around, and we catch some small things. We went over to a cemetery that was the founders of Mooresville, opened a portal. We're allegedly walking in reverse three times.
Yep.
Around the grave.
You were there.
Clay was there. It said his name in the box.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the funny thing about that is one of the only big EVPs we got from that was we were like, hey, we're going to go to the truck. And the box comes through and it's like, yeah, go to the truck. It was me and Clay. Another funny, I wish I had a camera rolling. My wife.
I face planted on the street.
She rolled around in the street of Mooresville.
I wasn't rolling around. I literally, my foot found a pipe and I found the ground real fast.
Oh, it was funny though.
Yeah.
And then it almost got me.
It did. He tripped over the same thing.
Yes,
no, he didn't crush me, thank God, but right. I'm not the only one that found that pipe.
So then we caught a wild hare and we're like, let's look into this Shinville Witch thing. So we drive all the way out there. It's late at night. It's dark. We pull into the cemetery. There's old iron gates. Top of the iron gates are stone walls. We back the truck in. We cut the truck off. The headlights go out. It is darker than dark. Mm-hmm. When you look out the windows of the truck, pitch black.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine. You can't, if you get out of the truck, you won't be able to see your hand.
And even as you pass through the gates, you just get that eerie feeling. Yes. Like, I didn't get that the second time we went, but the first time we went, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. It was that dark. And you just felt like, this is creepy. This is something good.
So was it as soon as you pulled in the gate, or was it like when you got out of the truck?
So the first time you were with us and we pulled in the gate.
Because we stayed in the vehicle.
We stayed in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So I have a son who's into ghost hunting. He's younger. He's 8
Mhm.
years old. And he's
into the idea of ghost hunting.
We pulled into the Shinville Witch site, and he starts freaking out. Starts getting emotional. And he doesn't want to get out of the truck. So we don't really venture out of the truck. Now, we ended up cutting the box on that night. And the box came through, and it said,
just leave.
Just leave. That's all it came
We were talking about it. We were wondering, like, okay, well, maybe one of us can get out and like walk around, see what's going on around here. But our son was just adamant. He did not want anybody to get out of the truck, especially not him. And so he was just like, guys, let's just go home. I would really like to go home. And we were all like,
oh yeah,
do we want to? I mean, of course, we didn't want him to feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, we were so excited. But of course, top priority is our kid. So we decided that we were not going to get out of the truck. And then after that conversation happened, we had turned on the box just for a minute, just to see if we could get anything. And
we were
first
inside
thing,
the truck still,
right inside the truck. And the first thing that we hear is just leave.
Correct.
And Wesson was like, well, that's it. We're leaving.
Yep. So I was like, we out.
So night one, we go over there and, we kind of chicken out and we leave.
Mm-hmm.
But we have this itching, burning desire to go back.
Yeah.
Something's calling us back. We need to go back. We have to investigate. So what do? We group, right? We go to the library. We get some knowledge. We grab this book by one of our local teachers, and
Morsel High School
now
teachers.
He's a professor.
I think
OC Stone Street, yes. He's a professor at a college. This is one of his books. This is another, Tales from Old Iredell County, right? And we look up all the stuff we can find about the graveyard, and we look up all the stuff we can find about the Shinville Witch, which might come as a surprise, but it's not a lot of information.
Yeah, not.
So, what we do have, Charles Nathaniel Mills was the founder of the cemetery. Now, he, in 1792 to 1875 was allegedly the dates. I've found dates saying he died December 17th of 73. The thing is, with older churches, the record keeping is just not there when you get into those older dates. Now, this is a 200-year-old cemetery. Now, back then, they had stone walls. And if you weren't saved, if you were a slave or you weren't found cleanly enough or holy enough to be buried in cemetery grounds, you, in fact, would be buried outside of that wall.
Yep.
Which leads us to possibly the witch being buried out there. Now, the witch comes in and they say, hey, the witch is buried outside the walls, and if you go there at 3 a.m, she waves at you. Well, I don't know about that. But what I do know is when we went there the second time, we set up shop. I went there during the day. There's a video on YouTube. You guys can find that.
By himself.
By myself. Got terrified by a woodpecker. It was hilarious. But I went there and I started getting activity. I started getting hits on things. It was coming through the box. It was speaking to me. There were things there. It was telling me to go by this tree where this stone was. And so I did. And as I go by the tree where the stone is and stuff, it's like, hey, stupid, we're by the tree. I'm like, okay, well, they're talking to me.
I think he said idiot.
Idiot, yes, correct. And I'm like, okay. So I'm investigating. It tells me I'm going to die. Somebody tells me they're going to protect me, which I talk about a lot because I thought that was crazy.
He felt very proud of that.
But once I went the first time during the day, I was like, okay, I have enough information that I need to go back at nighttime. Like, this needs to be a nighttime investigation. So what do? I call the troops. I call my brother. He brings his wife. My wife comes out, and we go at nighttime. Unfortunately, Uncle Clay over here was back in Virginia. He's still active duty Navy. Thank you for your service.
Yes,
anyone watching this, thank you for your service. If you're military, police, firefighters, first response, 704 Paranormal loves you. Just want to let you know, put that out there now.
Everything.
And we appreciate everything you guys do. Now, we go back. We've equipped ourselves with knowledge. What do we know? Potentially this witch is buried outside the walls. We know that. I have read stories. I know that this lady named Arlene Hayes knows the original story. It could potentially be just a story to keep children out of the graveyard at night. Makes sense. People do that. My mom used to run me with all kinds of stuff like that.
All the weird superstitions.
Correct. Right? There's Civil War veterans buried there. There's Southern Crosses of Honor there. Right? So we go there at nighttime. We map the area. There's no power lines overhead. So we know anything we get EMF, anything we get, it's all real. You know, we're trying to debunk anything that we find.
Mm-hmm. We want to make this as real of an experience as possible.
We get lots of communication by the backwoods wall. We get lots of communication by the tree. Those are our hot spots.
Mm-hmm.
We mapped them out, right?
See, I was pulled more towards the tree line towards the back. That's where I felt like we got a lot more stuff happening. I got more responses over there. I didn't get anything inside of the graveyard.
Exactly. Well, see, my thing is inside of the walls of the cemetery,
right,
most of the spirits are at rest, at peace. They have proper burials. Everyone,
sure.
you know, they had their last rites, however that may be, with a pastor, priest, whatever. And, you know, their souls are at rest. But the folks that are outside the walls didn't get fair treatment. That's, at least in my opinion. Now, when we went back there at nighttime, we set up shop. We go in before sunset, and we walk the areas. Now, me and my brother, we believe you hear the word witch, you hear the word slave, comes together, the word hoodoo comes into play. People have heard about voodoo. Some folks know about hoodoo. Hoodoo is a darker form of voodoo. It's very traditional in slaves and African American culture. It's mentioned in the book as well.
I believe I was going to try to pull that up.
Go ahead and pull that out. So we were worried about anything attaching or anything demonic. Now, I will say, when we got there and we started investigating, the spirit not only said my son's name, but it said it in my voice, which at that point worried us.
Yeah.
Because we're like, okay, this thing's mimicking me.
Definitely didn't like that.
Did not like it.
Here it is. By O.C. Stone Street himself, says, funky factoid, the term hoodoo is a Southern term. It is combined from African magical beliefs of voodoo or vodun. Is that how you say that?
Where's that? Yes, vodun.
Brought over during the slave trade era and country folk magic.
Correct. So I didn't pull it out of the ether, out of the air. This is something that happens.
It doesn't say anything about darker, though, does it?
No, but if you look into it more, like, you know, hoodoo is going to be more if you're like Louisiana, dark stuff. You have voodoo priestesses and stuff like that, but hoodoo is a lot different.
Okay.
So we start thinking, okay, there's dark energy tied to here. But we go in and we run boxes and we get my voice saying my son's name. Okay. We get spirits talking to us. Okay, well, that's fine. We get orbs moving by the tree. Legitimate orbs. It's 30 degrees out. There's no bugs moving. There's no dust moving. The video is on our YouTube channel. There is legitimate orbs in the video.
I think you did a freeze frame, didn't you?
I did do a freeze frame, walk through it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go through that. Well, then my brother steps out and he goes into the graveyard by himself to conduct a spirit box session in the pitch black by the tree.
Yeah.
As soon as he turns the box on, this was a big hit on our TikToks and everything, he gets, hey, in the most demonic, dark sounding voice.
Yeah.
Letting him know that something is present.
And it was it's pretty much the same voice throughout his whole conversation.
Correct. And not only that.
And which was what, how long? 18 minutes
18 minutes in the pitch black.
Same voice, too.
And it knows that he was a Marine. He never mentions it. And it says Marine Corps.
Was he wearing anything?
No, he wasn't. He was not wearing anything. His tattoos do not distinguish that he was Marine. He knew he was a Marine.
That is so crazy.
That was wild. At one point in time, I'm by the tree with my wife and my brother's wife, and I ask it, who's on the other side of the graveyard? And in the darkest demonic voice, it says, your brother.
It's hard to hear that unless you're like really listening for it, but it does. It clear as day. You can slow it down.
Yes.
And it says your brother.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we recommend when you're watching our videos, get some high quality headphones and listen to the stuff that we're putting out. Because when we're reviewing it, we're using high quality noise canceling headphones, and I'm going through and clearing audio and pumping it through to find some of these voices. Now,
and we do caption what we think that we're hearing, but if you guys hear something different, we would love for you to comment down below.
That's right.
What you actually hear yourself, because then we can go back and listen to it again, and maybe it makes more sense with the conversation that we're having with the person that we're trying to speak to.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because now I think what I will do is I will also put links to some of these discussions to these videos, so you guys can just find them in the comments down below, click the link, and it'll take you exactly there. Comment what you guys think you hear, and you'll see some of the paranormal stuff we experienced whilst we were there. Now, another thing, when we were there investigating that evening, my wife, after it had said my son's name, was running the box session with her and my brother's wife. And she said, "Hey, do you know any of my children's names?"
No, I said, what, I think I heard someone say my kid's name earlier.
Yes.
And then they said, your little boys?
Yes.
So,
but
I mean, yeah.
The most damning piece of evidence from that night, we asked it, who is buried right here? And it comes through in this childlike voice. And it says, "It's the witch."
It sounds like it's the witch.
Correct. Now, here's the thing, guys. With it coming through that clear and it doing that, it made me really believe there's something attached there. Now, some folks may claim it's just a story, whatever. But I will tell you, from being there, being quote unquote in the trenches of it, there's something there. If you're into paranormal and you investigate and all that, it's worth checking out. I've talked to multiple Mooresville residents, and they have photos and things of weird things that happened in that cemetery graveyard.
Yes. Did you ever get that photo?
I never got it. I have a friend named Eric. He had experienced some things with his friend Preston.
And this was years ago, before we ever did this.
Correct. So worth checking out, worth looking into. Comment any stories if you're from the area and you've been there. Now, moving on.
We do have to go back there when we get more, because that was what our first real.
That was our first real investigation,
and we didn't have all the equipment that we have now. So we're definitely gonna have to go back there at some point and redo it so that we can see if we can get anything better.
100%, yeah.
And you'll have to come with us.
That's gonna be a good spot. Yeah.
And here's the thing: it's not everybody has a story from their youth or whatever, right? Like we had an investigation. We were at my wife's childhood home. We investigated that recently. I had a medium contact me and tell me that she knew that there were fragments of a spirit there, that they were angry and things of that nature. And we'll get into that here shortly, just a little bit.
At my old house?
At your old house. Our Appalachian Nightmare. They're on Instagram. I believe they're on YouTube. They reached out to us. Phenomenal folks. Great people to talk to. Send us good stuff from Trivet Clinic and things of that nature. If you don't follow them, reach out to them. Tell them I sent you. They're awesome. But I bring this up because Clay has a story about a demonic entity that came into his family's life that is very dark and is very creepy. And I want you to get into that, and we'll kind of dissect that and talk about it.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to put it to your mouth there.
You can edit this out, yeah.
Oh, don't worry. There'll be some editing.
All right, there we go. All right. So, my favorite whiskey or bourbon. Go ahead and get on that TX.
We are not sponsored or affiliated by TX.
That's
but
very true.
If you want to sponsor, hit us up.
Yes, please. Comment down below and we'll reach out.
All right. So, to talk about my demonic presence in my life that I didn't know until I was a little bit older, but I had a feeling. So I was born and raised in Chinook, Kansas. That's it. We moved around a bunch. But when I was in high school, we ended up in a small or decent sized town, Carthage, Missouri. So that's where I went to high school for. my dad and stepmom bought a house out there. Right off the bat, kind of knew that I felt something was up because where my parents' house is at is on a Civil War battleground. So, and we also found cannonballs out in the backyard. So,
Oh wow, really?
We got a 5 pound or like a 5 pounder and a 2.5 pounder, which is
You have them at the house?
Yep.
Wow.
We still got the cannonballs at the house and
Nice.
everything.
Send me, or your dad can send me pictures.
Mhm.
I want to see
Yeah,
them.
no, that's cannonballs sitting on the mantle.
Impressive.
So, all right, so let's get to the story.
Wait, how old are you first? I mean,
when
at this time.
when this is occurring, how old are you?
Oh, when
this demonic entity started coming in your life.
So before I knew about it, when this started, I was 7 or 8.
Wow, that's young.
Give or take. I will say, because like I said, they didn't want me to know about it, or us kids to know about it, because they didn't want to freak us out. Makes sense. But anyway, so the first encounter with this demon was one night my stepmom decided to get up and go to the bathroom. You know, it happens. Go get some water.
You know how that is.
Go back to the bed. And as soon as she was getting into the bed, she gets shoved, like full-fledged shoved back into the bed, and it gets held there. I don't know how long, but she explained to me that she could not breathe for at least like 15, 20 seconds.
Felt like someone
Like,
was sitting on her?
Sitting on her, straight sitting on her chest.
Now, I believe when you told me the story the first time, because we went over this, that the spirit or whatever it was left marks. Is that correct?
Correct. So that was the morning after that, when the demon shoved her into the bed. The morning after, they got pictures. Wish I had them. I'd show y'all. But there was bruises of handprints on her chest. Straight up handprints on her chest.
Like 5 fingers and like a hand, and like
You can look straight at it and straight a handprint.
Really?
Wow.
100% on her chest. And I'm guessing she looked at my dad and was like, "We need to get rid of this right now."
Wow.
But unfortunately, so the one that we had to get the house blessed, 100%. But before that happened, this was around Christmas time. I am sitting in the living room watching a TV show, whatever. We had some decorations behind me in the sipping room, or the dining room, whatever you want to call it. There's a nativity scene and a cross on the wall. It still gives me chills to this day. Like, bugs me. But I'm sitting in the living room watching my TV show, and all of a sudden I hear just glass shattering. Glass shattering and stuff falling off the wall. And I walk in there. I'm freaked out. Don't get me wrong. I'm freaked out. Obviously, you're going to hear glass shattering. You're freaked out. I walk in there. Nativity scene is completely gone on the floor. Cross on the wall, on the floor. And I mean,
Spirit was not a fan of baby Jesus.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Oh my gosh.
6 pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus.
So do you think that it tore the cross off the wall and then it hit the nativity scene, all of it crashing down?
I think it was. So it was. What I remember is all at the same time.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
like a force.
So it was kind of like a wave of like a wall.
Like it produced
energy.
It had
100%, like a
soaked
wall
up enough energy to where it was like all of this gone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with like a demonic presence. It's like a black hole. it can take energy and it can build and build and build and build.
Oh,
And when
yeah.
it shows itself in such a force with
Mhm.
such power that you know.
Yeah,
Like, holy
100%.
shit.
Ooh.
And I mean, after that, so I told them about that incident, and after that, we had our aunt again come in, bless the house, and it stopped.
Okay.
Everything went outside, which we thought everything went outside. 15 years later, 15 years, 15 years later, this presence, this demonic presence, or what we think 100%, was standing in the yard somewhere, just waiting for us to let it back in.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think it was just standing in the yard? Like, did you see things out in the yard?
Oh no, this story's about to take a turn, and you will know.
So there is a little buffer in between them. Only reason we knew something was out in the yard, I might have told you this 100%.
Come on, let's hear it.
The only reason why I knew something was out in the yard. So my dad had like a 72 Ford truck, jacked up, big tires, whatever.
Calm yourself now. I know you get excited about anything with an engine, but
Oh yeah, 100%.
yeah, it's a Ford though. We're not
It's
too
a
excited.
sexy truck. Come on,
Okay.
come on.
Okay.
Anyway, this truck was sitting for years, never been touched. My dad didn't go out, and I was like, "Come on, Dad, come on." But no, anyway, Dad never went out and fucked with it, anything. The light turns on, the dome light and the dome light in the truck.
Yeah.
Randomly, one night turns on,
Okay.
and Cheryl's like, "Hey, Dad," or Kyle is his name. "Kyle, your dome light's on your yellow truck." He's like, "What? I haven't been out there in years."
That's so
He goes out there and turns it off. All right, turns it off. Comes back inside. Cheryl looks out the door again. Kyle, your dome light's on. What? And get this, if you guys know old trucks, for the dome lights, you have to pull the plunger
Correct.
out all the way
To get the dome
to
light.
get the dome lights on.
Yep.
Just saying. He goes out back to his truck the second time. The plunger is all the way out.
So it takes a lot of like strength to just.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
No.
the light just can't come on.
No,
it's
it
gotta,
won't. Come on.
It's got to go back a switch to another switch because you
Yeah.
got to pull it. It's two spots
Mhm.
Correct.
before it creates the path for the current to travel to the light.
Correct.
Electricians.
Sorry, that's
It
another
is.
professional electrician.
It is. Anyway, he goes out to the truck. The lights pulled out again. Close it off. And we're like, okay, well, there's something out in the yard trying to, get back in. That's what we believe.
Did your parents ever think that like you guys were going out there and turning
No.
it on? They
No,
didn't. They didn't
so-
even give that a thought.
No, because every time the light was on, all the kids usually it was at night. It was a night. I will say that it was a night. I was not going out there at night because it's completely pitch black, and I was fucking pussy at the time. But
Spotify, please don't take us down for this
Oh,
one.
sorry, my bad.
Calm down.
And no, it was completely this. Like I said, this truck has been sitting for years. Dad had it locked at that, but
Okay, so the dome light comes on. So then now we know that something's out in the yard. It's waiting.
oh yeah,
Twice,
100%,
right?
twice.
Twice.
It came on twice.
Twice. Now bring us back full circle to where we're at now in the story with this demonic entity 15 years later trying to get into the house.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Okay. So actually, there's a little bit more to that story as well.
Okay.
Hey, bud.
What's up, Wes? Well,
No, go ahead. Finish
Oh.
your story.
anyway, so the fact that I know it's getting closer to the house is about an hour later. So my dad's truck was probably, I say, 50 yards from the house. My brother's truck was about 10 feet from the front door. And his dome light turned on that night. Exactly. I will say his dome light turned on exactly that night, and we had to go turn it off as well. But so fast forward 15 years, we're with my sister and her best friend, Grace. My sister being Brianna, best friend, Grace.
First off, shout out to the Saving family in the Midwest. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Brianna.
That's
shout out
it.
to Levi. Shout out to Cheryl. Shout out to all of them.
That's it.
All the Saving family. This is my brother right here. This is Clay. If any of y'all get the chance to listen to this or see it, shout out to y'all. We love y'all. Continue.
Oh yeah. So when the demon came back into our house, that's where I left off.
So how did it get into the house?
All right. So my one of my sister's friends was watching the house that night. She came in, or my sister and her best friend Grace came up to the house, coming in. My sister's friend that was watching the house opened the door and was like, "Come on in. Come on in." That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, by the way. And you're going to let anything into your house.
So don't do that. My mother is a firm believer in that as well.
Yes.
And I will also say that that is a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
If you invite something or someone into your home, you say, "Hey, you."
Call it by its name.
Its name.
Come on in.
Its name.
Hey,
Use
Clay,
its
come on
name.
in.
Hey, Clay, come on in the house.
Yes.
Don't just say, "Come on in." Because then you're inviting anything in the yard. Now, mind you, very important, all superstitions and history, they all coincide and relate in some way, shape, or form. Mind you, sidetrack a little bit, a little sidebar here, but it's important.
Yeah.
Think of Dracula, right? Vampires, right? No, hold on. I'm going to bring this full circle. Do vampires exist? No, they do not. However, a vampire is considered a demon, right?
Okay.
And a Dracula or a vampire cannot enter the residence.
Dracula was one.
Okay, but Dracula or a vampire cannot enter the residence without being told he can come inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Dracula would pace outside of the houses.
I learned that from the Vampire Diaries.
Okay, but you have to invite it in, right? Yeah. So a vampire, quote unquote, a demon, could not come in the house without being invited. So that tall tale of vampires coincides with the story of demons being invited into your home. They all start somewhere, and then the folklore spreads. A little knowledge nugget for you.
Yep.
Continue.
Anyway, so
Grace says, "Come on in."
Not Grace.
Oh,
I don't remember the other friend's name, but
other friend's name.
Yeah. So the friend that was watching the house said, "Come on in," and Brianna literally stopped in her track and was like, "What did you just say?" And she repeated it, which she should not have asked that. My sister should not have said, "What did you say?"
I mean, that was probably a rhetorical question.
No, of course.
She definitely heard what she said.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. But whenever my sister's friend said, "Come on in," that's when all of it happened. My stepmom, in the exact same instance that all this happened, texted my sister and was like, "What the fuck did you just do?" Or what? Sorry.
Now hold on. Your stepmom was aware.
So my stepmom is not even in the vicinity of the house or the state, and she sensed that something had entered her house, which kind of makes me believe that my stepmom is maybe sensitive.
Would she admit to that now, though? Would she say that
she would. She would 100%.
Well, the funny thing is about that, I think when you're dealing with something dark like that, and someone has good intentions and they've tried to cleanse and things of that nature, they can sense it. And I will tell you, I have another coworker. I won't name him or his family, but he went to New Orleans. He went to a satanic chapel. He walked across the pentagram in the floor. Now, this guy's super religious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great guy. No more than
religious.
Yes. No more than he walked across that pentagram and stuff. His wife called him and said, "What are you guys doing right now? Because something doesn't feel right."
Ooh.
She was in North Carolina. He was in Louisiana.
Whoa.
So when you're dealing with dark energies
That's
and such
quick.
of that nature, I feel like other people know. Now, I'll let you finish your tale. Sorry, guys, for all the stops. But also, I feel like these sidebars are very important.
Yeah, I mean,
It shows,
especially if you're wanting to like really get into this stuff.
Correct. And I think it shows other perspectives and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does. It's just more knowledge into the video.
So she calls, "What are you guys doing?"
My stepmom calls like, "What did you just do?" And my sister replies, "I think we let it back in." And Cheryl, Brianna knew what she did or what happened. I didn't know what she did, but what her friend did. Brianna knew what happened. And so they got back into their car. It's my sister in the driver's seat, Grace in the passenger seat, and her friend in the back, the driver's seat. Brianna starts completely bawling as soon as she looks at the front door. It's a front door with complete glass. You can see a full body black figure standing in the front of the door. And Brianna just starts bawling. Grace was like, "What are you crying for?" And she looks over, and as soon as she locks eyes, or I wouldn't say locks eyes, but sees the figure in the door, she just literally completely starts just puking. She just starts vomiting outside the car.
From the sight.
Just the side of it. Just starts throwing up outside the vehicle.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is like horror movies don't even tell you how crazy the sight of something this evil, this dark, this powerful,
correct,
can be on your life.
It's just that energy.
Yeah.
Energy just from seeing something so dark, and just that energy from it just makes you like physically ill. It's like I've experienced it, family members experienced it. It is there. So
that's Clay's family story on the demonic attachment, the demonic thing he dealt with.
But you guys got rid of it that time.
Yeah.
Too, right?
So with precautions,
after
cleansings,
that,
all that, right?
Yeah, cleansings, everything.
How long does that kind of thing take? Like,
doesn't take very long.
Really?
So I will interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting. Tell the folks.
So to cleanse, we had her aunt come back in. I know I said that earlier. So our aunt came back, and she burned sage in each room in our house and said a prayer in each room in our house. And that happened to work. And now we're completely, like, I can actually sleep there. So it's completely fine now. Because before I could not sleep there.
We need to find out where she gets her sage. It's probably not from Walmart
or Amazon. Well, listen, my Walmart and Amazon sage works fine. If it's a placebo, don't tell me.
Well,
I'm going to keep burning it, okay?
Yeah.
That makes me feel better, okay?
Yeah.
And for the folks that don't know, saging comes from Native Americans. They believe that the smoke produced from the sage lifts the spirit up off of you and returns it back to where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We practice it. I don't care what investigation it is. I don't care how non-demonic, how non-dangerous it is. We will still burn it. We will still tell the folks they cannot come home with us. And I advise anyone and everyone who is into paranormal investigation, no matter how small it is, do this practice.
Even if you feel like you got nothing in the investigation, still do it just to cover your tracks.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because that brings us to our next investigation. We went to, I'm skipping one, but we'll get back to it. We went to my wife's childhood home. Mm-hmm. We didn't think we had much when we were there.
No.
The first hour we were there, it was nothing other than an EMF hit that went to a 5 I had on mine when I walked the house.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And I'm thinking this place doesn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
However, we were in for quite a night once things settled, and it was just me and her going into the house.
I feel like we did get other things while they were there. Like, because we had, my sister came with us and she brought her 2 older children and we brought our older child. And we were just walking around asking questions, doing, spirit boxes, EMF. We were trying to get the cat balls. I don't think that we ever got anything with cat balls, right? And then
No, we did. During the interview that we had, there's a cat ball hit.
Yes.
And I have the video posted, and if you watch it back, no one ever moves, and the cat ball goes off on the floor.
Right. We had to make sure, we had to watch it back to make sure that we didn't stomp our feet or something. But I don't think either of us moved. Everybody in there was standing still.
And now, and to bring that to light, I like to do investigations for things that occurred in the place that they occurred. It gets the energy flowing in the space. And if there's a spirit that needs that energy, you're talking about it. It's like a way of summoning the spirit without doing anything crazy. Now, that also brings you to another side note. Guys getting into paranormal investigations and stuff, please stay away from Ouija boards and things of that nature. I know it sounds like the way to go to make contact. There's
Your
better
mother
ways.
would be so proud of you. Right
I understand. There's other ways. I know guys that can go in there and they can do straight investigation with nothing more than a voice recorder and a camera.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even need spirit boxes or anything like that.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is don't play with Ouija boards. But I have my issues with that. We'll go over that another time. But just don't play with them. Anyway, so we get there and we're going through our investigation and we get a cat ball hit. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I go upstairs. I have a group of 3, my son, my niece, me. We go up there. We're trying to get hits. We don't get very much. Then I have my son go downstairs. It's me and my niece. Still don't get much. Then I go up there by myself in the attic. And I'm like, hey, I'm one-on-one. I'm ready to do this.
In the attic?
The upstairs. I refer to it as the attic, but it's the upstairs. It's where their bedroom used to be.
Yeah.
Now, I don't get a whole lot there either, but I keep feeling there's something going on there, and I'm not sure what it is. But there's something drawing us up there. Now, there was a catastrophic event that I won't go into too much detail on. You have to watch the video that occurred downstairs. Part of me felt like we needed to be down there. However, the spirit proved to us that he can roam that home however he pleases, and he doesn't have to stay in that one spot.
Yeah. And it seemed like the spirit,
as we will refer to him.
It seemed like they like the upstairs the most anyway. I don't think that downstairs is where he wants to be.
Now, I will say that her sister told us a story. It was a very dark story, and it's in the video. Check it out. That occurred with her. And I did ask for the spirit that caused a disruption in my wife's life, caused a disruption in her sister's life to make itself known. Mm-hmm. Now, at this point, we're going through, and during our EVPs and our box session, I'm getting 2 voices. I'm getting a male voice and I'm getting a female voice. And you'll find that in the video. And I'm believing the female voice was the darker side of things because it tells things from a third-person perspective.
Oh.
Now, you have to watch it back, and you'll definitely see that. It tells everything from a third-person perspective.
Okay.
Now, I say this because I'm the one that does all the editing on the videos and stuff. Now, my wife does assist. She helps me.
I listen.
Confirm things because if you do stuff by yourself when you're confirming EVPs and stuff, you might hear things that aren't actually there. Mm-hmm. So I'll be like, hey, listen to this. What do you think it says? And I won't tell her what it says.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we do caption some of our videos. I know some people believe that is a no-no in paranormal investigation because you're crafting people's mind to believe what you believe. However, I think it helps understand, especially when you have folks that do the research and stuff and we know what we're looking for.
I mean, even when we are watching, those paranormal shows on TV and they're like, oh my gosh, it said this. But me and him are looking at each other like, yeah, I didn't hear that. We heard this. And so, like I said before, if you guys ever hear anything that is different from our captions or what we, reply back to them, then just please let us know because we would love to have your insight and so that we could go back and fix it if we have to.
Correct. So I want you guys to watch the video of her going back to her childhood home and checking that out. Let us know what you think. So far, we've covered our Shinville Witch investigation. We covered our childhood home investigation. Now, I did skip past when we went to the
Boston Bridge.
No, not that one yet. What was it? The fort we went to?
Yeah, Fort Dobbs.
Fort Dobbs. Thank you. That's my son Wesson. Shout out to Wesson in this video. Come on, say hey, everybody.
Come on, bud.
This is my son Wesson. He is an up and coming paranormal investigator. Yep.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
He's over there watching the cam and make sure everything's good.
Yep.
But so we went to Fort Dobbs, me, my brother, and my son, and we investigated the area. Now the building is a reproduction, but it is built on the original grounds.
Mm-hmm.
There was deaths that occurred there. Indians attacked and scalped some of the guys there. One of the gentlemen that was scalped is believed to be buried out by the tree, and a small child that was killed during that attack. We went out into the woods and conducted EVP sessions with the box. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence we got from that, and it's also on our channel and a short, we asked it the bullet type that it fired from its firearm. Clear response back was the grape. Now, if you don't know, that is a term for the round fired from the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
They also picked up quote unquote grapes on the grounds out there. And I also have pictures in the video of the grapes they picked up from the grounds and one of the rifles they found there.
Yeah.
Very compelling.
And then they're all encased, right?
Correct. We ended up getting crazy MF hits and stuff. Fort Dobbs was great. If you ever get the chance to visit Fort Dobbs in Statesville, I'm a Mooresville native and I haven't been there till I was how old am I? 32? I sometimes think I'm 30. I don't know. I have to confirm these things. Don't laugh, you young bastard. Anyway, so go to Fort Dobbs, check it out, get the backstories. So we hit, I just touched on that. We hit the Shinville Witch, we hit the home investigation, we hit the Fort Dobbs, and now moving on to our most recent, the Whiskey Prison. Unfortunately, my wife could not come with that investigation. She's been taking care of a bunch of golden retriever puppies.
9 of them.
9 of them. Is 11 dogs total, but 9 puppies. But
6 days away from them going to their forever homes now. So after that, I will be able to join in on more things.
so yet again, 704 Paranormal. We love bourbon, paranormal, and puppies.
Puppies.
T-shirts coming soon. Anywho,
And I will.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna chime in.
Chime in.
So I'm gonna add these spirits that we've actually listened to have actually intelligent answers, like you said about the grape shot. That's crazy that they actually remember. Like I get like that spirit remembers, but how? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking lost.
Well,
my
listen,
train of
listen.
thought.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I skipped over one of our investigations. By the way, the cops got called on us, but we weren't wrong. You'll see that in the video.
When?
Fourth Creek investigation in
Oh.
Statesville. We caught, this was featured in Midwest Paranormal on TikTok and everything. This is one of the best pieces of evidence we've gathered. I'm running SLS. My wife is running the spirit box. Not only do we get a cat ball hit with a hard cam and the regular cam, but we see a figure. It appears to be digging or leaned up against this wall.
With the SLS camera.
With the SLS
We don't
camera.
actually see it with our bare eyes.
You don't see it with the bare eyes, obviously. And my wife's like, hey, what are you doing? Are you sitting down? And it says, no, working. No, Alexa, we're not talking to you right now. Excuse
I
Alexa.
didn't even say her name.
Anyway, so we're talking to the spirit. It's leaned up against the wall, we thought. And we said, what are you doing? It says, no, we're working. Working. Intelligent responses, like Clay mentioned
100%.
before.
Yeah.
He went over real big. So watch our Fourth Creek investigation. It was very short, but it was very good in that time. Now, also, I still want to give a shout out to Statesville PD, keeping the streets safe out there.
Yes.
The guys showed up in a flock, but they were excited to see what was there. Those guys are great.
We
Also,
respect what you do.
shout out to my man Brandon Kuntz, Officer Brandon Kuntz, holding the streets down, being safe. We work together at the sheriff's office, and thank you so much for what you do. Now, bring this full circle. we've run a lot of investigations in a short amount of time, so things kind of cloud up. Now, last night, me and Clay were locked in to the whiskey prison. Southern Grace Distillery, Cabarrus County Correctional Facility. We were locked into the grounds. By the way, Bearded Ghost Hunter, Mr. Benny, excellent person. Follow him on TikTok,
Amazing
Instagram.
person.
Right now, he's pulling stuff from our session from last night. We were locked in over there. We went there during the daytime. We had the
Thirsty
full
bed.
tour with the bourbons, and we went to the grounds. It's also where I picked up this bottle of Conviction Bourbon, Southern Grace Distillery. But he took us to some exclusive spots. I'm going to post some videos, pictures. We saw some areas that common folks don't necessarily get to see. Bullet holes in doors, and I'll explain that further in another podcast.
Crazy.
But then we caught a wild hare, and we said, you know what, we're gonna come back in the nighttime because we had such a big piece of evidence that was so crazy. We knew we had to come back. We went to the bear house at 4 p.m. Now, I tell folks all the time, spirits do not keep business hours.
It's daylight, by the way.
I'm so tired of people saying I cannot ghost hunt until midnight or 3 in the morning. That is horse shit. I will say it right now just like that.
Oh, 100%.
If a place is truly haunted, it will be haunted at lunchtime just like it is at nighttime.
Yep.
We went into the barrel house. We walk in. Benny asked the spirits to move around and make a noise first and let us know something is there. Not only do they make a noise, a figure makes itself known. There's a black shadow figure. It's leaned over the barrels looking at us, and it takes off running to the right. We see it, of course.
With
I'm
your bare
sorry,
eyes.
with our bare eyes, but of course, I'm sorry. As all great paranormal evidence, there was not a camera running. As all great evidence goes, I'm sure you've all watched Ghost Hunters and things of that nature, Ghost Adventures. All the good stuff's never caught on camera, but we were there. Clay, what did it
100%.
happen?
I was literally standing in to where you enter the barrel barn, basically what it was.
Cell block A. Because cell block B is to the left. Cell block A is
cell block A was to the right. So I entered in the entrance, and cell block A was to the right. I looked up, and you could literally see the figure standing there. As soon as I looked up, it was standing there, and it just completely just to the right, and it was just you could hear the footsteps over the barrels.
Whoa!
It was insane.
I probably would have peed.
Oh, dude, it was insane. It's like nothing I've ever experienced.
Oh,
but in that moment right
crazy.
there, I knew. I've known a lot of things I want to chase when it comes to spirits. I've had questions about religion. I was military. I've been around the world. So is Clay.
Yep.
You have questions about religion. Here's my beef on that. Here's my truth on that. I believe in paranormal investigation. All you do is prove religion more and more. Because if there's spirits, there is God. There's all these things.
Yep.
And I will tell you right now, as a believer,
I never questioned it.
but I'm going to be honest with you, I did. And I still do. But I go out and I do these investigations, and it proves to me every single time that there is things that we need to believe in and you need to follow. Now, seeing that apparition, seeing that movement tells me right then and there is something on these grounds, and I want to get to the bottom of it. This will not be the last time we go to the whiskey prison. I've talked to Benny. We will be back. That was an incredible experience. So we went back that night. Let me tell you how that goes. We go into the chapel. We do the brief. We walk through the gates, and Benny locks the gate. There's a lock, chain lock. He looks at us and goes, "We're locked in the prison." At this point, we're not leaving until Benny says we're leaving.
No, exactly.
Was there barbed wire on the top?
Yeah.
Really?
There's still the barbed wire from
But
whenever
here's the thing.
fence was built. And
There's no nervousness. There's no nervousness. There's nothing.
No,
like that.
not at all.
There's pure excitement
Mm-hmm.
because we know something's there.
Yep.
So me and Clay go out. They equip Clay with an excellent camera.
Oh,
He looks like he's a pro. He's faking it till he makes it. I'm faking it till I make it
I
as
was
an
decked
investigator.
out, dude.
Excellent. By the way, Mr. Boston, thank you so much for your equipment.
Oh yeah.
If you see this or hear it, thank you. And also thank you to Benny. Thank you to Southern Grace Distilleries. Thank you for having us. We will be back. Now, let me get back to
I
the
hope to
story.
be there.
And my wife will be there too. We get in there. We go into the cell blocks, the gin pops. We're walking around. Now, I've been told from Benny as he's reviewing this, we actually had a lot of EVPs. We ended up getting an inmate that screamed no. He was like, no! But you couldn't hear it to the naked ear, but you could hear it with these sensitive mics. Mm-hmm. It will be in the video. Don't worry. Post-production. We're getting it.
I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen any of it yet.
That was one that we got. But then his Frankencam got one of our
Explain
REM
what a
pods.
Frankencam is.
So Frankencam is a special piece of equipment that he has built up that has thermal, and it also has full spectrum on it. And it is an impressive piece of equipment. Batteries, everything. This thing can run all night without switching batteries. Mm-hmm. Impressive piece of equipment. I will be building something like that in the near future as we get deeper into our ghost hunting. Now, he captured the REM pod going off. But not only did he capture the REM pod going off, he captured a voice as it stomps and says closed, right? While we're in that first room in the gin pop. And then we're going out through there. I'm capturing orbs. I have a hard cam set up. Not only does my hard cam cut off at 59 seconds before the REM pod goes off, on my other camera, I catch an orb passing the camera. It goes around the camera cuts off, the REM pod goes off. Temperature fluctuation. All right?
When did you find out that the camera went off?
Right after the REM pod goes off, I go to grab my camera because I want to review it. Mm-hmm. And I look at it and it says paused at 59 seconds. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, that's the only time the entire night the camera pauses.
And fresh why batteries, would it do that by itself?
It wouldn't. Exactly. You have to hit the button. Mm-hmm. Benny tells me it happens all the time. They pause cameras and things of that nature.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy.
And that's why I said we will definitely be back. Now, we go from Gen Pop, getting pictures and things that we're reviewing. We go into solitary. Now, there's an entity named Joker. He lives in a solitary cell. We wanted to go there. Everybody and their mom crowded in to solitary to see Joker. So me being prior law enforcement working in a jail, I see the Code 70 room. Code 70 is the suicidal individuals they cannot put into a regular cell with their clothes on. So they give them a Velcro thing and their underwear and they're put in there.
A Velcro thing, like a crazy.
It's literally, imagine looking like a Ninja Turtle, like a turtle shell.
Okay.
And it's all Velcro. Now, when we did it at Iredell County, when I worked there,
it was like a straight jacket.
We put you in there naked.
Oh.
With that on.
Oh, naked. Okay.
And I have some stories about that. Comment below if you want to know those stories. I'll message you directly because they are insane, the stories from the Code 70 room. So I go in there. We set up shop. Me, Brother Clay.
Yep.
We catch wild EVPs on the spirit box. Intelligent responses. The thing is setting off the REM pod. We had another guy come in and watch record. He sent me his video. I'm going to review it and see what he got.
Oh.
And insane from the solitary. So we move from solitary. We go out to the hot box. Now, this is what I'm excited about. I know the hot box is going to be a hot spot. Hundreds of inmates died in there. They would light this thing up in the summer. It would heat up to ungodly temperatures, 130 degrees, dirt floor. You're locked in a room. The only window you have is just big enough in the door to look out. It is torture. And it's outlawed and strictly forbidden now. But at the time, prior to the hot box, they would beat inmates and stuff like that. That's what they would do. They'd just beat the shit out of them.
Wait, can we go back?
Go ahead. Hold on. Let's see what you got.
What time frame was this an actual jail, like a working jail?
So it was a prison, and I can't tell you the exact date. So Benny, forgive me if you hear this, but 1927, 1929. And I believe the reform bill was passed right before it was built, and they ended up having a hot box. Now, Benny told me there's only 2 prisons in the entire state of North Carolina with a hot box standing still. And the only reason this current hot box is still standing is due to the fact they used it as storage after the prison was rebuilt with more stuff. That's why it's still there, or it would be gone.
When did it stop being a prison?
It stopped being a prison in the 2000s. I don't know the exact date. I don't want to lie. So, Benny, you comment. Let me know.
Let me know.
It's in the 2000s. After it was a prison, it actually turned into a training grounds for the Army Rangers and Special Forces for a little bit. Before, Southern Grace Distillery led the forefront as pioneers and became the first distillery in the United States to house their distillery and share their workspace with spirits on a prison ground. They were the first to do it, and shout out to them for it because it takes bravery because they have a lot of activity. And not only do they have a lot of activity, but other than that, the Ghost Hunters crew, or TAPS crew as they're called, went there and investigated in 2022 on their episode Poltergeist Prison. It's on Discovery Travel Channel. Check those guys out. That's incredible. I felt honored to be in the same area that they investigated, especially being a new investigator myself. So we go into the hot box.
Pause. Do you have a question?
So I think I know the date that stopped being a prison.
What is
What
it?
you got, buddy?
2010.
2010? It stopped being.
I'm going to check that. If my son is right, everybody throw a thumbs up in the comments. He
Send him
says
some V-Bucks on
2010.
Fortnite.
Send him V-Bucks in Fortnite. Anyway, back to it. So we hit the hot box. Fortunately, Benny was so kind. He shut us in there. Me, Clay, Benny, and there was some woman who was sensitive, medium-like.
Yep.
I asked the spirit, I said, hey, if there's anyone in here, please make yourself known. Make a noise, tap, let someone know that you're here. I heard a noise behind me, like the window moved. But Benny tells me when he's reviewing it, he hears on his camera mic. Sent me the audio. It's there. Taps on the freaking mic. So I'm ready to have that added in. I'm excited about that.
You did sage after this, right?
Oh, we saged
Did you sage the equipment?
Negative. They're right here in this box.
Maybe we should start doing.
Anyways. Also, look on his channel, Bearded Ghost Hunter. We call it what is called Hot Box Forrest Gump. The lady is in there. She's asking questions. Benny's running it. And you hear this Forrest Gump-like voice say,
Please say it the way he did.
I like clocks. So apparently, and I just banged my head on that wall. Apparently, it really likes clocks.
Yeah.
And we're doing this for fun. We're talking about our experiences. No one may ever hear this, but we will, and we'll listen to it, by God. But he hears that. Not only that, when you're taking pictures on a paranormal investigation, take multiple of the same exact angle you're at. Why? I took 5 photos in a row by the hot box. What did I catch in one of those 5 photos? A full apparition of smoke, or what appears to be smoke, or an entity leaving the hot box room as Benny goes to lock it.
There you go.
There's a face. I'll be posting it on TikTok and Instagram. There's something there, and Benny thinks he let something out of the hot box that may have been stuck there.
Oh, shit.
That's what he says. So look out for that. Now,
Hold on. On the hot box.
go ahead. Let's see what you got.
So I remember Benny's talking about the 1925.
Cheers.
The 1925 North Carolina, when they outlawed whipping their prisoners, like beating the shit out of them or beating them to death, apparently.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, America. Anywho.
He just likes to get a reaction
Anyway.
out of me.
So they built these hot boxes in these prisons. And that's what they did for their punishment. Instead of whipping them, they would put them in this hot box that is like 120, 130 degrees during the summer. And
30 to 60 days.
Yeah, at least 30 days.
At the bare minimum, 30 days.
And put down in the comments what you would want during the summer or the winter.
Mind you,
Just saying.
you have a window about this big to look out.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is it. Other than that,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
dark. About this big
Oh,
to
yeah.
look out of.
That's it.
That's the only window you have.
Night or day.
Able to survive.
No lights, none of that. There's 2 beds.
There's
You
no
got 2 mates
clocks.
in there.
No clocks.
2 inmates. If
Yeah.
they liked you, they would give you a pot to crap in or pee in. If they
Yep.
did not like you, you had to dig a hole in the dirt and use the bathroom
Yep.
in there.
Nope.
Think of the stench, the
Oh.
hot soil, the hot walls, your bed.
I mean, did
Small
they get
mattress.
their meals?
Yeah.
They got their meals there.
Your bed, small mattress, hot. You can look out that window Now, hold on. Let me really get into this. You can look out that window and see all of your fellow inmates out there on the yard with the breeze blowing, enjoying their day-to-day life, while you're trapped in a personal hell for up to 30 days, waiting for release. Multiple inmates have died there. Not only have multiple inmates have died there, to this day, mediums, I was standing beside one that would not go within 20 feet of that room due to the pain, the despair they were feeling in that location. So let me get back to the fun side of me before we get serious. That was my voiceover.
Oh, yeah.
Now, move on to the barrel house.
I can't even survive without a internet.
See, and see, that's the thing. Kids today can't survive without internet. These folks were trying to make it in the hot box. Most of them were moonshiners during Prohibition, and that's what makes this place so special. It is now a place that houses bourbon, makes bourbon, and I guarantee you, all of the prisoners that are locked up that are spirits still there during Prohibition, that were locked up,
dude.
they're like, "What the crap?"
Yep.
I mean, seriously. But if you really want to get into some deeper conversations, I want you to think about this. Ready for me to blow your mind? Clay, you ready for me to blow your mind?
That's
Blow
it.
my mind.
Send it.
People think of time as linear. If I say it's 8 o'clock,
Linear.
linear, straight line. If I say it's 8 o'clock,
Oh.
and then it's 8:30, and then it's 8:45, you look at it as, okay, time's moving to the right. Right?
Uh-huh.
Think about this for a second. Quantum physics tells you right here, hold on, don't
You've
roll
already
your eyes.
lost me.
That time is not linear, and we know it's not. What if, when we're doing these investigations, the noises we hear, the sounds we hear, are people hearing us during their time being alive? Have you ever been outside and you heard a noise that was odd, and you're like, what the crap was that?
But there's nothing around.
But there's nothing around.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What if time is truly not linear? Those people
Linear.
are still currently living in 1925, 27, and they're hearing us investigate them in 2025. How crazy is that to think about?
And you're just hearing echoes.
Echoes.
That's
Go
all
down
it
this
is.
rabbit hole
It's
with me.
echoes.
Comment. Let me know if you're interested in going down this rabbit hole, because I promise you I can go deeper on it. Now, back to the subject at hand. We go to the barrel house. This is where we saw the full body apparition, the shadow figures, and all that. We get in there. There's a few non-believers. We've talked about this. It's kind of lame. If you're a non-believer, please do not spend the money to go on a paranormal investigation and ruin it for the people that are here to actually enjoy it. Stop making noises when we're trying to make it quiet and hear things.
For sure. That
Just stay home, dude. If you don't believe, you just don't believe, dude. Seriously. Now, we go in. The first, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour we're there. We don't get a whole lot.
No.
Listen, the spirits know. Like, if you're not messing with them, they're not messing with you. It is what it is.
But I will say we also had a bigger group. There's like 12
folks.
12 folks. Yeah.
But once it died down to the true people, down to the last like 4 to 6 folks, we started getting action.
Yeah.
So did people just like leave?
Yeah, they would look at Benny and they'd be like, "Hey,
left.
we're ready to go."
Yeah.
They
They straight up left. Yeah.
Not me. I'm not leaving until you tell me I have to leave.
Yeah.
When I'm investigating, I'm there till you kick me out.
Oh, 100%.
You know what? Yet again, 704 Paranormal, baby. New hats coming soon. Don't worry, this is the OG. Anywho, back to the subject at hand. We're in there. Benny's catching all kinds of things now. He's going through it. But the really big piece of evidence I want to talk about. Brother Clay goes down. He goes down. He wants to talk to the female entity that's there. She's a small 14-year-old girl.
Clay would want to talk to the female.
But he's smart about it. And I don't know if Clay was intentionally smart or it just happened that way. He takes a cat ball.
Mm-hmm.
This is a device that only lights up, you know what?
With motion.
Only lights up with motion. And it lights up with pretty colors. Let me show you this. You see that? Now, once it cows, it will only light up if something moves it again. Right? Now, he goes down and asks the spirit a simple question. Do you want to play? And he sets the ball down. What happens next? It's truly amazing. A few seconds go by. What happens, Clay? What happens with the ball?
The ball moves. It's completely.
Not only
lights.
does it move, it lights up.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So Clay shouts, "Hey guys, I got something on the ball."
Yep.
Benny runs down there. Benny starts running a session.
Yep.
Benny tells me I caught something with my naked ear, so I know
Mhm.
it's on the video. He's reviewing it now. He's going to be sending it over.
What
to
did
us.
he hear?
He hasn't told me yet.
Oh, okay.
We're waiting for that evidence. Full video coming soon, guys. Seriously.
Well, don't
If
give
you-
it all away then.
I'm not. That's why I'm giving pieces.
This is the flipping teaser.
But this is the flipping teaser, guys.
Quote of the
Which-
day.
Which is the most exciting thing in
It's
the world.
very exciting.
Oh yeah.
So, we believe Clay made contact with one of the small female, it's 14 years old, that is there. Her name will be released in the video. I have a podcast I put on Spotify that talks about her already. And there'll be more information coming. Guys, seriously, if you like the content that 704 Paranormal is putting out, and there will be more and more in depth, there'll be a lot more adventures coming soon. Multiple folks. Anytime Uncle Clay comes in from Virginia, he'll be with us.
Uncle Clay.
I'll be
My
here.
wife will be in most investigations,
Yep.
but you can count on me to be there for every one of them.
I'm
Follow us. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Scoops, YouTube. We're on all of it.
And Spotify.
And Spotify. And if you follow us when this video comes out and you tag yourself in the comment, let me know your address in a message, a DM, and I will send you a sticker or decal. And then when I send it to you, I want you to send me a photo of whatever you put it on, and I will share it on our group. Now, 704
Should put
Paranormal
one on here.
will be moving forward. We're looking at doing investigations at Asheville at Lydia's Bridge. We're looking at doing investigations at the Trivet Clinic. Now, this is a new thing, so we covered a lot of ground today. But what we're doing is I want to start conducting at least once a month spirit talk with spirits,
Yep.
And
Where-
water.
where we go
oh
over
my God.
events that we face, stories, or anything of that nature with drinks, and we talk to you guys directly to let you know, hey, we're just average people just like you are, but we have an interest in the paranormal. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Austin,
I'm Bethany.
I'm Clay.
and here comes my boy Wes.
And I'm
There it is.
Thank you for joining us, 704 Paranormal. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell.
Drop the comments on anything you want questions about that we talked about today.
Hey,
And drop comments.
Anything.
Drop comments on places that you want to see us go.
Oh, 100%. In North Carolina or surrounding areas. That's it.
until next time, stay spooky, North
Alright,
Carolina.
guys, I might have
Cheers.
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 Bye.